Picture this. Two people face the exact same challenge. One of them thinks, I'm just not smart enough for this. The other one thinks, okay, I'm not good at this yet. Now, that tiny three-letter word, yet, it seems so small, right? But it reveals a whole universe of difference in how we think. And that difference, well, that's the invisible force shaping our entire lives. And today, we're going to make it visible. So what if I told you that the biggest factor determining your success isn't your talent, it's not your background, it's not even your opportunities, it's just the way you think? And look, this isn't about some fluffy positive thinking mantra. This is about a fundamental belief system, an invisible script that's running in the background of your mind, literally shaping every action you take and every single result you get. So here's the game plan for today. First, we're going to uncover this invisible force. Then we'll break down the two core mindsets that run our lives. We'll look at how the wrong one traps us in a cycle of self-sabotage. We'll get inspired by some real-world stories of transformation. And then, the best part, I'm going to give you 5 practical steps to start rewiring your own brain for success. Let's get into it. Okay, so what is this invisible force? It's your mindset. The easiest way to think about it is like the operating system for your brain. It runs every program, it interprets all the data coming in, and it determines your output. It's the reason why two people can face the exact same setback, and one sees a dead end, a brick wall, while the other sees a stepping stone. And this brings us to some absolutely groundbreaking research from Stanford psychologist Carol Dweck. After decades of studying this stuff, she found that pretty much all of us operate from one of 2 fundamental mindsets. And these 2 mindsets, they define our entire approach to our abilities and to life itself. And the difference between these 2 is night and day. On one side, you've got the fixed mindset. This is the belief that your qualities are just carved in stone. You're either a math person or you're not. So you end up avoiding challenges because if you fail, it feels like a final verdict on who you are. But then you have the growth mindset. This is a totally different belief system, that your abilities can be grown through dedication and hard work. For someone with a growth mindset, effort isn't a sign of weakness. It's the only path to mastery. It's not about the cards you're dealt. It's about how you decide to play them. And here's the craziest part. This isn't just feel-good psychology. This is hard neuroscience. It's based on this incredible concept called neuroplasticity. Think of your brain like a giant forest with a network of trails. The thoughts you have over and over again are like these wide, well-worn paths, super easy to travel down. But if you intentionally start taking a new path, a new way of thinking, well, at first, it's tough, it's overgrown. But the more you do it, you literally carve a new trail, a new neural pathway in your brain. A growth mindset physically rewires your brain to get better at learning and become more resilient when you get knocked down. The fact that you can actually change your brain is such a powerful idea. And speaking of powerful ideas, if you are getting value from this content, do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe to my channel, and share this with someone who really needs to hear it. Okay, now let's talk about what happens when we're stuck on the wrong path. A fixed mindset creates what I call a silent ceiling on your potential. You start to play small to protect your ego, right? Because hey, if you don't really try, you can't really fail. It is the ultimate form of self-sabotage. And this creates this awful, vicious feedback loop. You believe you can't do something, so naturally you put in less effort. That lack of effort leads to poor results, which then just reinforces that original self-doubt. See, it proves to you that you were right all along. You quit when things get tough, and you end up with a life that's defined not by what you achieved, but by all the opportunities you were just too afraid to grab. All right, let's make this real. Pause for a second. What's one limiting belief you've been telling yourself? Seriously, think about it. For the longest time, mine was I'm not a natural leader, and that thought held me back for years. Maybe yours is I'm not creative, or I'm too old to start something new. Drop it in the comments. Let's break it together. Just typing it out and acknowledging it is the first step to taking away its power. Okay, so that's the problem. But here's the powerful truth. This is not a life sentence. You can absolutely shift your mindset. And when you do, man, the proof of what becomes possible is everywhere. It's in the stories of people who achieved incredible things, not because they had some raw magical talent, but because they completely transformed how they thought about failure and effort.
I mean, take Michael Jordan, the greatest basketball player of all time, right? He was famously cut from his high school basketball team. Now, a fixed mindset would have said, well, I guess I'm not good enough, and that would have been the end of the story. But his growth mindset saw that failure not as a verdict, but as feedback. It was just information. He used it as fuel to outwork every single person on the planet. His story is just this incredible reminder that our biggest setbacks can become our biggest strengths. if we choose to see them that way.
Or think about J.K. Rowling. She was a single mom living on welfare, battling depression, and her manuscript for Harry Potter was rejected by 12 different publishers. 12. Each one of those rejections could have been proof that her dream was impossible. But instead of accepting that, she just kept going. She kept refining her writing, believing her skills weren't fixed, but that they could be developed. That relentless growth mindset, that's the real magic behind Harry Potter. So, how do we actually do this? How do we go from just knowing this stuff to actually living it? Look, it's not about some massive personality change overnight. It's all about making small, consistent shifts. So let's break down the practical, evidence-based game plan for cultivating a growth mindset starting right now.
Okay, step 1, you have to catch your inner fixed mindset voice. Just start noticing when it pops up saying things like, I can't do this, or I'm not smart enough. Just notice it. That's it. Step 2, when you catch it, add one tiny powerful word, yet. So I can't do this becomes, I can't do this yet. This simple switch reframes the whole thing from a permanent fact into just a temporary state. Third, redefine what failure means to you. It is not a judgment on your worth. It is just data. Ask yourself, what did I learn from this, not what's wrong with me? Fourth, focus on progress, not perfection. The goal isn't to be flawless. The goal is just to be a little bit better than you were yesterday. And finally, number 5, choose your environment wisely. Mindsets are contagious. You subconsciously adopt the beliefs of the people you're around. So surround yourself with people who challenge you and who believe in growth. These 5 steps aren't just some mental checklist. They represent a fundamental choice. A choice you have to make every single day in every single moment of challenge. It's a choice between 2 versions of you, the one that's controlled by the fear of failure and the one that is driven by the possibility of growth. And believe me, your future self is watching and is depending on you to choose wisely. Now, let's be really clear. Mindset isn't magic. It's not going to instantly solve all your problems, but it is the starting point for everything. Your belief about what you're capable of, that determines your behavior. It determines whether you even try in the first place. That behavior creates your results. And over time, those results compound to create your entire life. When you change the way you think, you change the way you act. And when you change the way you act, you change your entire future. It's that simple. So if this changed your perspective, type growth in the comments and start becoming the version of yourself you were always meant to be.